Coming up on State of Events, more information on the Thousand Oaks shooting last week, and more results from the midterm elections.
And later, we get the latest update on wildfires burning in California. State of Events starts now.
Welcome to State of Events. I'm Hannah Pack.
And I'm Isabel Cabral. Let's get down to our top story. 3 major fires have been burning since last Thursday, leaving a total of 44 people dead, thousands of acres and homes destroyed, and many residents displaced.
Heavenly Father, please help us.
250,000 people have been evacuated from the Camp, Woolsey, and Hill fires ranging from northern to southern California. The Camp Fire, which is located in the Sierra Nevada hills north of Sacramento, has now become the most destructive wildfire in California's history. The Camp Fire is responsible for 42 deaths and destroying almost 7,000 structures, while there are reports of over 200 people still missing.
I'm really worried about you, so please come back soon.
Near the origin point of the fires lies the city of Paradise, California, which is almost completely destroyed. The fire is reportedly 20% contained.
If you're ready to go, go. And if you're being told to go, get out of there.
The Woolsey Fire near Simi Valley is accountable for the displacement of 200,000 residents and started mid-Thursday, around the same time as the Hill Fire in Thousand Oaks. The Woolsey Fire expanded 35,000 acres in 24 hours, racing towards the Pacific Ocean. It has now burned a total of 85,000 acres and is 0% contained.
We are literally in a statewide red flag weather warning. Fire weather conditions are extreme.
Authorities also issued an unhealthy air quality alert for the San Francisco Bay Area as smoke and toxic particles have made their way down here from the Camp Fire. In total, the fires have burned 170,000 acres so far, and the origin of the fires is still unknown.
12 people died last week in a mass shooting at Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks, California, after a man opened fire on the bar.
The white male shot approximately 8 shots. The weapon was a black semi-automatic.
Around 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 7th, Ian David Long, a Marine combat veteran, opened fire at the Borderline Bar and Grill, a country music dance hall and restaurant in the small community of Thousand Oaks, California.
We got multiple people down. We need a lot of ambulances.
According to the Ventura County Sheriff's Office, 12 people were killed and 23 injured. One of the victims was a sheriff's deputy who responded to the 911 calls.
54-year-old, 29-year veteran of the sheriff's office. He's married with a grown son, and as I've said several times, he went in there to save people and made the ultimate sacrifice.
Another victim was a survivor of the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting in Las Vegas last year, where 58 people were killed. In honor of the victims of the Borderline shooting, the community of Thousand Oaks held a candlelight vigil last Thursday night, remembering the innocent lives lost. This incident is the 307th mass shooting in the United States this year, and is the deadliest since 17 people were gunned down at a school in Parkland, Florida this past Valentine's Day.
In this Congress, the one that we're in right this minute, there is bipartisan legislation.
Many politicians and family members of the victims are calling for gun reform to try to avoid another event like this happening ever again.
And I don't want prayers. I don't want thoughts. I want gun control.
The incident is still under investigation.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions has officially stepped down from his position within President Trump's cabinet. Attorney General Jeff Sessions resigned last Wednesday, November 7th. In his official resignation letter to President Trump, Sessions started by stating that his resignation was per request of the White House. Sessions has been one of President Trump's most loyal supporters since the beginning of Trump's campaign. According to CNN, Sessions and Trump's relationship was strained when Sessions relinquished control of the Mueller investigations. However, the request that Sessions resign was from the White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly. Matthew Whitaker will act as the new Attorney General.
With the new hire of Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, Democrats are pushing for continuation of the Mueller investigation.
Thousands of protesters line the streets of Chicago in protest to preserve the Mueller investigation. These protesters gathered to see the investigation be continued with the new hiring of Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Democrats sent a warning to Whitaker, daring him to step off of the Russia investigation against the Trump administration. Protesters gathered stating, "No one is above the law." Attorney Robert Mueller spoke in front of a crowd at the White House, thanking the FBI investigation's crew as they continue looking into Russia's involvement with the 2016 presidential election. Nancy Pelosi sat down with CNN to discuss whether or not Mueller may be dismissed.
Legislation that would say that a counsel like Mueller could not be, just generally, doesn't name him, counsels cannot be fired if they are without due cause. If they are, they have the opportunity to go to a panel of judges to review the cause of it. If that happens, then they are dismissed. They cannot be replaced unless by someone who has been confirmed by the Senate.
Matthew Whitaker has now taken over the role as Acting Attorney General after Jeff Sessions stepped down. Matthew Whitaker will act as Attorney General, succeeding Jeff Sessions, who resigned last week. Whitaker was Sessions' Chief of Staff at the Department of Justice. As Acting Attorney General, Whitaker is expected to take over the Mueller investigation from Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. President Trump stated that a permanent Attorney General will be nominated at a later date.
CNN is preparing to sue the White House over the suspension of CNN White House correspondent Jim Acosta's press pass.
The accusations came after the White House accused Acosta of putting his hands on a White House intern. President Trump's secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, claims the White House stands by their decision as the act was inappropriate. Sanders also said his press pass is to be revoked until further notice. President Trump claims CNN should be ashamed to have him on board, and after a brief conference, his ideas have not changed.
I think Jim Acosta is a very unprofessional man. I think he does this with everybody. He gets paid to do that. You know, he gets paid to burst in. He's a very unprofessional guy. Whether it was me or Ronald Reagan or anybody else, he would have done the same thing. Look, I don't think he's a smart person, but he's got a loud voice. And here, wait, David, do you mind if I answer the question? And as far as I'm concerned, I haven't made that decision, but it could be others also.
Wondering how the midterm elections panned out for the nation? We have information on the results and voter turnouts. This midterm election showed an overall increase in voter turnouts. About 39 million voters cast early ballots across the nation compared to 27.4 million ballots in the 2014 midterm elections. In Florida, more than 5.2 million people sent in early ballots. In New Jersey, voter turnout increased from 124,000 voters to 355,000. Georgia's early voters increased to about 2 million voters. The House is run by a majority of Democratic politicians.
There were plenty of other things we did together, and there's no reason that would stop simply because the House now becomes Democratic.
The American people want to put an end to unchecked GOP control of Washington, restoring again the checks and balances.
The Senate is still ran by a Republican majority. President Trump sees this as a victory.
We saw the candidates that I supported achieve tremendous success last night.
This midterm election also marks many firsts for our country's Congress. Kansas and New Mexico voted to send 2 Native American women to Congress.
Never imagined a world where I would be represented by someone who looks like me.
The votes for governor in Georgia are still being counted. The race is between Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp. If elected, Abrams would be America's first black female governor. That's our review for the 2018 midterm elections. The midterm elections were last Tuesday, and we have results for your winners in the state of California. Results of the California midterm elections are in. Starting with the officials, Democrat Dianne Feinstein was re-elected for the U.S. Senate. Democrat Gavin Newsom won the race for governor. In a race between 2 Democrats, Eleni Kounalakis was elected lieutenant governor. Democrat Xavier Becerra is now California's Attorney General. Democrat Alex Padilla is the newly elected Secretary of State. Democrat Fiona Ma is California's new treasurer. Among the propositions, Californians voted no on repealing the state gas tax of Proposition 6, yes on Proposition 2 to fund mental illness housing. Proposition 7 passed, which means voters allowed a change to daylight savings time. Proposition 10 did not pass. Rent control limits will not be removed.
A Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruling last Thursday stopped the Trump administration from officially ending DACA. The program that protects immigrants who were brought into this country as children has been under scrutiny since President Trump announced his plans to terminate the program in 2019. DACA members all over the U.S. are celebrating this small victory.
Democratic candidate Stacey Abrams is being pressured by her Republican opponent Brian Kemp to give up the race for Georgia's governor. Kemp resigned as a Secretary of State last Thursday to become the new governor after winning the race by about 60,000 votes. While Abrams claims thousands of ballots have not been counted yet, Kemp says it is mathematically impossible for Abrams to win and accused her of making up numbers. It's been 7 days since Americans casted their votes, and despite the election results, no one has called the race for either candidate. Next on State of Events, a world record broken during Diwali. Then we bring you a fun Thanksgiving event happening in the city next week.
And later, what propositions pass in the city of San Francisco and how they may affect you. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to State of Events. We now bring you over to our SF City reporter, Alexis Gonzalez. Alexis, what's going on in the streets of San Francisco this week?
Here is a quick look at the highly anticipated 2018 midterm elections in San Francisco. Last week, on November 6th, San Franciscans from all over the city voted on new propositions, board members, and BART directors. This year's midterm election had a historic voter turnout with 60% of more people actively going out to cast their votes. 2018 also marks the year in which a lot more people casted their votes through early ballots. There were nearly 130,000 early ballots in San Francisco alone. The lines at City Hall were huge throughout the day, but people managed to keep it festive by handing out flyers, performing, or even dressing up. It was reported that this year specifically, a lot more people felt like it was their duty to take part in the elections. Proposition C, the ballot measure that plans to tax big businesses an extra 1.5% for homeless and mental health services, was passed last Tuesday during the midterm elections. The measure has been very controversial since it was first announced. Big tech companies were concerned about unfair tax increases and overall accountability. Although Proposition C was officially passed, opponents say that San Francisco will most likely never get to actually use the money, since the ballot failed to obtain a 2/3 majority vote. Big business owners have announced that they plan on fighting the proposition in court. Last Tuesday, Proposition D was approved by San Francisco voters. Starting in 2021, all cannabis businesses will have to pay a 5% tax of gross receipts. The president of the Board of Supervisors, Malaya Cohen, created the proposition of hopes of improving the equity program, patient care, and the overall cannabis business industry. She recently stated that she hopes that other businesses could also benefit from the legalization of cannabis. Her office has predicted that Proposition D will generate $10 million in revenue for the city's general fund. Samples of the cracked steel beams that were found in the Transway Salesforce Transit Center on September 25th will be sent to New York for testing. The $2.2 billion transit center will not open until all testing is done, and officials are sure that the area is safe. Transway Joint Powers, the manufacturers of the center, have announced that they plan on conducting their own investigation to ensure the safety of the public and bus drivers. Results from New York will be available next week. And now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Alexis. Work up your turkey appetite for Thanksgiving with a morning race at Golden Gate Park on Thanksgiving Day, November 22nd from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can begin the holiday with San Francisco's annual Turkey Trot. The races come in all shapes and sizes, and this year adults can choose from 5-mile run to a 3-mile walk, and children can enjoy the kids' gobbler chase, a 100-meter sprint against the giant turkey. The Turkey Trot is a new American tradition and has become the most popular day for road races, seeing over 1 million people participate every year. For more information, please visit sfturkeytrot.com.
If you're looking to help out during this Thanksgiving, Glide, the nonprofit organization helping serve meals to the homeless in the Tenderloin District of San Francisco, is looking for volunteers. They are anticipating 5,000 guests next Tuesday and are looking for volunteers to chop, cook, plate, and hand out food. According to their website, they are planning on preparing hundreds of turkeys and hams, 1,500 pounds of potatoes, 950 pounds of veggies, and 312 gallons of stuffing. For more information, you can go to their website at www.glide.org.
A Diwali celebration in India set a new Guinness World Record last week. The Indian city of Ayodhya broke the Guinness World Records last Tuesday when it lit more than 300,000 clay oil lamps in celebration of the annual Hindu festival of Diwali. The lamps, which were called diyas, were lit by thousands of volunteers and were mostly placed along the Sarayu River, which is sacred in the Hindu religion. Officials received a plaque from representatives of the Guinness World Records after a number of lamps were confirmed via drone, marking a big accomplishment for the Hindu community.
With some more news on what's happening on our SF State campus, we have reporter Gianni Bagnarello.
On November 8th, students gathered at the hall of the administration building and protested against President Leslie Wong to commemorate the largest student strike in American history that started on campus 50 years ago. With then came a list of 16 demands from the Ethnic Studies Department, which was led by Damien Square, a Black student union coordinator. The Vice President of Student Affairs and Student Management, Lolo Hung, ended the protest by negotiating with the students. Fall 2018 is almost over, and the new spring classes are now available. Priority registration for students will be available from November 26 to December 7. Don't forget to check the class list for all the new classes offered next spring, and also make sure to go to your academic counselor for undergraduate advising. On November 8, 2 of the creative writing faculty's members from San Francisco State and fiction writers gathered the students for a free book reading. Mei Li Chai, author of Useful Phrases for Immigrants and The Midword of Hapa Girl, and Jency King, an award-winning writer, both took their published book for a book reading that was followed by an in-depth conversation with the audience a year after their book published. The event had to be rescheduled after the campus closed due to the Sonoma Napa fire last year. And back to you guys at the desk.
And next on State of Events, a memorial at AT&T Park for Bay Area sports star Willie McCovey.
And later, a 90s girl band reuniting for a tour overseas. More on that after the break.
Daddy, what is sustainability?
Sustainability?
Yeah, sustainability.
Well, it's composting.
Cool.
It's conserving water.
What about clothes?
You can reuse clothes too. Are you ready for school?
Almost done.
studio with us now is sports reporter Ashley Stevens. Ashley, what's new in sports this week?
Over the weekend, the Gators hosted the Tip-Off Classic between Dominican University, Sonoma State, Academy of Art, and San Francisco State. After handily beating Academy of Art on Friday, the Gators tipped off against Dominican University. Ryan Williams had a career game with 16 points and 5 blocks. Jace Wicklife was also hot as he knocks down the corner 3. The Gators defeated Dominican by a score of 66-55. Williams went on to win tournament MVP. The Giants hired a new president of baseball operations, and fans are wondering how he will be able to bring another World Series ring to the city of San Francisco. Farhan Zaidi will take over as general manager for the Giants and has received a warm welcome by fans as well as Giants ownership. Madison Bumgarner's future as well as other key players are up in the air as he quotes, "No one is untouchable." He does promise to get back to winning baseball. Free agents such as Bryce Harper to fill the outfield gap with a heavy bat are likely to be discussed on Zaidi's table. As for Giants fans, we will just have to wait and see what game manager Zaidi has in store. The San Francisco Giants organization held a memorial service last week to honor the life of a Giant great, Willie McCovey, who was passed away October 31st.
Here comes McCovey!
The San Francisco Giants held a public memorial at AT&T Park, inviting Giants fans to share in the memories of a Giants great. The memorial featured Giants legends such as Willie Mays, Orlando Zapata, and Barry Bonds.
And I want to thank Mac for allowing me to hit a bunch of baseballs in his cove.
Mike Krukow, Giants commentator and former Giant, saw McCovey as not just a friend, but a beacon of inspiration.
And I would say, I want to be like him.
McCovey was a beloved cornerstone of the team, and after his retirement stayed active within the Giants organization. The memorial service included an outpouring of not just McCovey's talents, but what he meant to the Giants and the city of San Francisco.
Matt Chapman, third baseman for the Oakland Athletics, was awarded the Wilson Defensive Player of the Year last week.
According to MLB.com, the award is given to the top defensive player at each position across the American and National League, using traditional stats and advanced metrics. Chapman also won the Golden Glove Award at third base and was later voted in by the fans to win the AL Platinum Glove Award. This is awarded to the best all-around defensive player out of the Golden Glove winners. Chapman led the league with 29 defensive runs saved last season and is the first A's player to win the Platinum Glove since established in 2011.
Cal football is heading towards their first bowl game since the Jared Goff era. After their win against USC on Saturday night at Memorial Coliseum, the Bears now have a 6-4 record with bowl eligibility. Saturday broke a 14-year winning streak the Trojans had over the Cal Bears, creating a lifetime moment for the Cal players, beating the Trojans by a score of 15-14. Cal hadn't defeated USC since 2003 and hadn't won at the Coliseum since 2000. With impressive defense, the Bears are gearing towards either the Mitsubishi Motors Las Vegas Bowl or the Cheez-It Bowl. And that's all for sports. Back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. The annual Holiday Ice Rink has officially opened in Union Square, bringing alive the holiday spirit in downtown San Francisco.
Lace up your skates and share the spirit of the holidays at the Ice Rink in Union Square. The rink opened last Wednesday with the San Francisco Giants mascot breaking the ice. The rink is open every day from 10 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. through January 21st. Tickets are $18 for adults and $13 for children. From family to friends and Olympians to drag queens, everyone can enjoy ice skating in San Francisco.
With more on entertainment, we have reporter Jessica Murray.
One of the most bingeable Netflix shows will now try its hand at the big screens. It's been 5 years since the end of the AMC series that centered around a high school chemistry teacher and his blue crystals. But Breaking Bad fans may soon be getting closure. Breaking Bad creator Vince Gilligan finally announced that a Breaking Bad movie is in the works. No word yet on if we'll see any flashbacks of Heisenberg himself, but the new film will be a follow-up to the original series and will star fan favorite Aaron Paul as he reprises his role as Jesse Pinkman. Production is slated to begin this month in Albuquerque, New Mexico. For years, fans told them what they want, what they really, really want, another reunion tour, and the Spice Girls are finally delivering. The tour will feature Spice Girls Emma Bunton, Mel B, Mel C, and Jerry Horner, with Victoria Beckham sitting this one out. The UK tour has already broken Ticketmaster records with a 700,000 waiting list on their online queue. No word yet on whether or not the girls will bring the tour across the pond. Thanksgiving is a time for being thankful with friends and family, but let's be honest, one of the best parts is the food. Personally, I really love stuffing, and I think it's a great side to Thanksgiving dinner, and I really love it with gravy. My Thanksgivings with my family are always kind of huge, so we always have both a ham and a turkey, but I definitely love honey-baked ham the most. I think it's way sweeter and a lot less dry than turkey tends to be. My family loves to do mac and cheese for Thanksgiving, and we have a family recipe that we use every year. Of course, I love finishing off the evening with a great slice of pumpkin pie. That's it for today. Catch us next week with what's new in entertainment.
That does it for our State of Events show this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Hannah Pack.
And I'm Isabel Cabral. Have a happy Thanksgiving and a great day.